Hello everyone. I am Sahana from Kalpataru Institute of Technology, Tiptur. I am currently pursuing 7th SEM in Electronics and Communication Department. I pursued my internship at Naveen Gurukula under the guidance of Naveen sir and Kishan sir on the topic Cisco networking. We recently completed our internship project. I'm here to give you the demo on that. Then the project name was the university. We were of 10 members. The team coordination was very good, which led us to successful completion of this university project. The basic agenda was to create a virtual infrastructure for the university and also plan the configurations accordingly with respect to the project. The steps which we followed here was the first step was to create the vomit chart. Here vomit chart in the sense we just randomly created the topology of the project and also assumed some of the requirements like routers, switches, servers, or the IP phones which we have used in this particular project. And next was the collection of requirements, means how many routers were needed for a particular branch, or it might be for a data center, or it might be for the ISP cloud. So we assume those all the requirements, and this was the collection of the requirements. Next, we planned the basic infrastructure. That means we are the basic configurations which has to be done in routers, switches, and the servers. Next was the segregation of the task among the teammates. Where the each teammate would be getting some of the topics to do on the particular day to complete within some 2 or 3 days, or it might take 4 days. Those we would update it in the Scrum board, which was our individual updation of our particular work, which was assigned to us. Next was the integration done by combining all the individual tasks. And next, finally, we were testing the uh, uh, all the individual a task which was being done. And next there was a final submission. Next, the planning of the events were planning of the task. As I said before, I the requirements, it may involve the requirements or the configurations, and the topology which we created some of the branches, and ISP cloud which all comes under some of the topologies. Next was the IP addressing. IP addressing was assigned to each and every routers and the end devices and servers, etc. So the planning of that IP addressing was done. Next, the creation of ISP cloud, which contains 4 ISPs in our project. There was routing configuration and switching configuration for the ISPs. In ISP, we use just the routers. In branches and all, we used both routers, switches, and devices and all. For that, we were in requirement of the switching configuration. So we did completely the switching configuration over there. Next, there was integration of all the individual tasks among our teammates. And next, there was testing, and usually there will be some sort of errors in each and every project. We resolved by some of techniques. Next, there was a daily report on our completion of the Scrum board. As I said before, we were dividing our task among the teammates, and we were updating in our Scrum board. Next, we have the device requirements. The ISP cloud, which we were created, contains 3 main ISPs. That is which contains 4 routers and 1 ISP with 2 routers. Next, we have data center, where we created some of the servers like HTTP, FTP, TFTP, email server, and AAA server, which contains both TechAX and also Radius. For some part of our branches, we created TechAX server, and for some, we created the Radius server. Next, we have Syslog server, NTP server, and also DNS server. Next, it was the creation of back office, which contains 5 floors, 5 different floors. And next, there was a main branch of university. We named it as a university campus. And next, there was 4 sub branches, that like Bangalore, Mangalore, Mysore, and also the Belgavi branch. And the IEP phones were created for each particular branch, and also the back office where we made it as a student helpline. Next, our project involves four different phases. First was to create the ISP cloud, which was connected to five different branches, including the main branch and one data center and also one back office. The next was phase was to create the data center and the branches, where the next was to create the server configurations in that data center which we created, and in branches, as I told before, there were configurations of routers, switches, and the end devices. The fourth phase involves the creation of back office and the classification of departments in the branches. In particular branch, we have created four different branches like office, civil, mechanical, EC, and CAC branch. So I'll show you the demo now of our project. Coming to the demo part, first we created this ISP cloud. This is how our project looks. This is the ISP cloud, and these are the four different branches. This is Bangalore branch, Mangalore, Mysore, and Belgavi branch. This is the main university branch, and this is the data center which we have created, which contains some of the servers. And this is the back office, which contains five different floors. Two has a student helpline, and other I'll tell you when I am explaining the back office. First, let me explain the ISP cloud. We started our project by creating this ISP cloud, which contains four ISP. This is one ISP which contains four routers, and three of our ISPs contains four routers, and the last one contains only two routers. In this routers, we have done BGP configuration, hostname configuration, DHCP, and EHRP configurations. In this ISP cloud, we have done EHRP configuration, since we have used a different AS number. In branches, we have created BGP configuration in order to communicate between the two different AS numbers. Let me show you the running configuration of this. As I told before, we have done the hostname configuration, which was usually it will be router, just router. We have renamed it as ISP1R1. And to show the running configuration of this particular ISP cloud, we have created a DHCP configuration. Now, DHCP, in the sense, it is a dynamic host configuration protocol. This will be handy when you are using larger network, where it assigns IP address automatically to the devices. You need not to go to each and every device and assign the IP address statically. This dynamic DHCP will assign the IP address automatically. I told you that we have created a EHRP configuration for the ISP cloud. EHRP is the enhanced interior gateway protocol, which is used on the router to share the routers with the other routers with the same AS number or a different AS number. If it is the same AS number, it would be easy to communicate between the routers. Since we have used different AS number, we have used the redistribution of the EHRP. This is what about the EHRP. And next, coming to the data center, this is that's all about the ISP cloud. Next, we have connected this ISP cloud to the data center with two routers and one switch. Here we have created different servers also. Data center is nothing but it is a secure facility that houses the infrastructure like network computers and the data storage. It is a facility that centralizes an organization's shared operations for the purpose of storing, processing data, and also the applications. Since we have the servers here, the main uses of servers, it may be for storage, or it can be used as a email server, DNS server. For different servers, we have used one particular server. This server is the computer or the system that provides resources, data, services, and also the programs to other computer, known as clients over its provides over the internet. And as I told, we have created different types of servers. Let me go with the DNS servers which we have created. DNS server is just a domain name server, which instead of using the IP address in order to access particular website or a particular server, we have DNS server is main use is that we can access the website and by giving just the domain name, like here we have given www.aaa.com, or it might be dns.com or t3.com or navingurukula.com. So like this we can give it in the websites. These are the names which we have provided. To show the demo of this, let me go to one of the PCs and access this particular server. Here we will just type www.http.com. It shows us the a website which we have created. We have just created it as the world of the world with engineering, just to showcase the engineer works, the branches. It takes some time to load these images, and we have created different the uses and what are all the works of engineers. This is how we access the website through our domain names. HTTP and DNS, they act accordingly. Like HTTP is the hypertext transfer protocol. It's a software that understands the URL or the web addresses. So to show the HTTP, here there is a HTTP. Here we have created a web. As I told, we have created the website of engineering. In the same different clients, we can access the website of by using the domain names. That's all about the HTTP server. And next we have the FTP server. FTP server is a file transfer protocol, which is centralized access to the storage related activities. It is mainly used for the transfer of computer files between the client and server on computer network. The purpose of using it in our project is that since the university is a larger organization, it enables the large field or the large folder transfer between two computer, irrespective of the size, which is otherwise not possible by any of the other software. It will be very easy by if we use FTP server. And FTP server is the, as I told, it is a store of it stores the information and the pieces. Here we have FTP server, and we have created a username and password. And to show the demo of this FTP server, let me go to the PC. If I type here FTP 192.168.132.3 is the FTP server IP address. It just asks the username which we have created, it has given, and the password. And this will guide us, will take us to the FTP server. We can access the files which we have created by type. Let me show the direct files which are there in the server. This is the file which we have created, that is navin.txt. Like this, we can access the files or the folders from the client side. That's all about the FTP server. Next, we can go move to NTP server. NTP server is the network time protocol. It is an internet protocol which is used to synchronize the time of the clocks of the computers and the network devices which we have used in our project, like routers. It synchronizes the time between the uh, uh, clock of the computers and also the routers. So as to maintain the constant time for entire network will be there. There shouldn't be any lag between the devices, so the synchronization of the time is very important. So the purpose of using is that in our project is also comes the same. We can maintain the constant time between or throughout the network. Here we have NTP server. You can change the time of this in order to maintain the constant time throughout the network. And next we have syslog server. Syslog server is a system login protocol which is used to send the event messages to the specific server, that is the syslog server. The messages, it may include the about the timestamps or the event messages or the severity host IP address. To show that the syslog server, we have the updates till now, the use which we have done in our network. Syslog is used to send the alert and the messages to central server, or to collect the various devices logs from several different devices in the central location for monitoring and also the review. These are all the updates which will be getting to the syslog server. Next server is about mm, next we have email server. Email server is the server uh, which email server is that handles and delivers email over the network. The purpose of using it in our project is that for storing and also the holding incoming and also the outgoing emails. Here we have the email server, and the for instead of going to each and every end devices for the email, we can combinedly maintain it in a mail server which stores all the mails here. Here we have created both the wait. This is an email server which we have created. I have just given the domain name as naveen.com and the users here. To check the demo of this, move to any of the pieces and go to not any of. We have just created it in a Mysore branch. As I told, all the emails will be maintained in the server itself. So just we have created it for a one branch. This is the source PC, and let me compose an email for that. True address we need to type here. Akshita. And let me type address as demo1 and type it as hi, this is demo, and let me send it. And here you can check the status as it is a send success. It shows send success message here. And let me move to the receiver end and check in the email server as received. And here I have received this email, and hi, this is a demo. And that's all about the email server. And next we have AAA server. AAA server is the so for some part we have created is it as a radius server, and for some part we have some part in the sense some branches we have created it as a STICAC server. This is the AAA server. AAA in the sense it is authentication, authorization, and the accounting. AAA server is here, and for as I told, for some branches we have created Bangalore branch, Radius server, and for some we have created TechAct server. For Bangalore branch, we have created TechAct server, and for the Bangalore also, and for Mysore and all, we have created used Radius server. To show this, Radius server means it provides the authentication level of access, whereas TechAct server will provide administrative level of access. TechAct server, which it will usually provide more control over the authorization commands, while in Radius server, no external authorization of commands is needed. And the Radius server is main advantage of Radius server is that when new user is added, we cannot go to each and every router and create some the new user ID and the password. So we just use it in the TechAct server. So to show the demo of that, so next we have the TechAct server. To show the demo of this AAA server, let me log in to any of the PC and go to command prompt. Let me take the other PC. Let me go to command prompt, and here since it is since the Radius and TechAct server, they are used for talent login. Remotely we can log in from any of the basis. Means we can use this as a remote login. So from if you want to make any of the changes when you are out of the station, so we can use the Telnet login. You just use the username and the password. To show that, just type Telnet and the IP address of the AAA server, that is 192.168. We'll just type the end devices address which we need to make changes in that. Let me type 170.1, and it will ask for the password. Let me give it as mang, and the password invalid mang. And we can access this Mangalore PC or the Mangalore router by using this particular username and the password. I'm accessing it from the university campus. So like this, we can use the Telnet login. And next we have the TFTP server. TFTP server, we have just used it as a backend server here. TFTP and the FTP is almost the same. The main difference is that FTP needs some authentication for communication, but not the TFTP. And FTP is generally used for uploading and also downloading of file by remote users, but not the TFTP. TFTP is mainly used for transmission of configurations to and from the network devices. To show the TFTP law, this one. Let me go to the router which we have in ISP Cloud. Next, here we'll just type move to the global configuration mode and type copy running config TFTP and it will ask for the name of the remote host, that is 192.168. And the IP address of the TFTP server. The IP address of the TFTP server is 132.8. And you can give the destination file name, or click enter. It is now copying the running configuration. If you check in the TFTP server, here it will save all the configurations to the TFTP server. Here I have logged in it the ISP3R2. Let me check in this TFTP server whether I can get that. Here I have TFTP. Yeah, it is there, ISP3R2 router. And next, coming to the branches, I think that's all about the servers which we have created. And next we have the branches. As I told, we have 5 branches. One is Bangalore, one is Mangalore, Mysore, Belgavi, and the university branch. To show the configuration which we have done in the routers here, the main configuration, as I told that we have used different AS number for the ISP cloud and also the different branches. We have used the in order to communicate. It's difficult to make communication if we use the AHRP. So we did redistribution of the AHRP, and also we used it was done only for the ISP cloud. For the branches, we have used the BGP configuration. BGP in the sense it is a border gateway protocol. Let me first log in into this. And again we need to give we have used the line console also, because to create the password, multiple people will have to access the particular router. So to do the remote configuration, it controls all the traffic in connections, and it creates the communication channel also. Sure, let me we can access this and show run in order to show this. And as I told, DHCP configuration will be very easier, and it will be handy. And as I said, we have created a Telnet login. It is a AAA new model. Here we have a AAA model, the authentication. You can use the user ID and the password in order to log in from the different location. And next we have here we have used the privilege level of 0. This is the privilege level, lowest privilege level. And next we have created the BGP and the AHRP configurations. Here we have used AHRP configuration to communicate with the ISP cloud, and also use the BGP configurations. And next we have done the TechAct server configuration for this particular branch. And next this is the dial pair voice 180. This is done for the IP phone configuration. Vivo IP phone we have used in the office department in order to communicate to other branches, or it might be to the student helpline center which is being created in the back office. And next, this is EP phone in the number which is being assigned to the phones. That's all. And this is the NTP server which synchronizes the time. And next, this is the about the branch router configuration. Coming to the branch switching configuration, we have the switching configuration. Coming to the switching configuration, for switch we have done the VLAN, inter VLAN, and also the BTP configuration, and also the trunk configuration. Between this, the screen is not shared. In switch, we have access and also the trunk mode. Here, let me show the show the VLANs which we have created here. VLAN in the sense it is a virtual local area network. The VLAN which we have created here is Office 20 and CSE, and uh, mm, we have just given the names for this particular VLAN 20 Office CSE, and these are all the default VLANs which are being present here. The VLAN, in the sense, the main purpose of creating VLANs is that not to communicate with the other branches, whereas we can easily communicate with the main branch. Because we have created inter-VLAN concepts, we have implemented inter-VLAN concept, we cannot communicate with the branch like EC branch of shoot. Here we cannot, since we have used VLAN, we cannot communicate with the branch of Mysore branch EC department with the CSC department of the Bangalore branch. This is about the VLAN. To communicate with the same departments, like to communicate with the CSA department of Mysore branch and the CSA department of Bangalore branch, we have used inter-VLAN concept and made to communicate with between those two. To show that, let me show the demo of that EC department. To communicate with the EC department of Belgavi branch to the EC department of Mysore branch, let me ping to the PC which have the IP address of 182.168.2, which is the IP address of the EC department of one of the PC. It takes some time. So this is about the inter-VLAN and the VLAN concept, and also we have created. We have also done the VTP for the switch. This is the how we can ping. As a first time, it takes time sometimes, so it shows a request timed out, and next we have the reply from the particular PC which will be communicating. And next we are coming to the switches. We again we have done, as I told, we have done VTP configuration for the switch. VTP is nothing but the VLAN trunking protocol. It's not why, because we have created VTP in the sense it's not viable to configure VLAN in all the switches in the network. So we can easily add, delete, and rename VLANs if we use VTP, it will be very easy for us. Here we have used the switch connected to the router. This switch is made a use of as a server mode, and here the switches which are connected to the end devices, which we have used it as a client mode. In server mode, why the purpose of using this is in server mode there will be a synchronization and not in the client mode. And we can create, add, and delete VLANs in the server mode, whereas not in the client mode. If we type show VTP status in this, let me move to CLI and type enable in order to move into global configuration mode and show VTP status. Here we are using it as a in a server mode since it is connected to the router, and the rest of the server which are being connected to the end devices, we have used it as a in a client mode. And next, coming to the back office which we have created, the we have as I told, we have created a IP phone configuration also in this. Let me show you the IP phone configuration demo also. IP phone is very important because Vivo the we can make a call through the internet, not our regular what regular network or the landline connections. The phone bills which come across when we use Vivo IP configuration, that is IP phone configuration, is also very low compared to the other. And here the signals will be transmitted anywhere across the internet by using nothing but only your regular internet connection. That is the main purpose why we have used only IP phones in our project. And uh, to show the demo of this, the main purpose of Vivo IP configuration which is done in our project is to connect to the student helpline which is being created in back office. In back office, we have two student helpline. Let me dial it to one of the phone. Here, the phone number is triple one 4 times 4. Let me type or dial it in this from the Bangalore branch. This is the server. This is the phone which we have used. And when I dial this 1, 2, 3, 4, it is being ringing out. And when I go to the server which is being shown in back office, here this is a phone which is being it is ringing. It is from the 116 which we have connected. If we pick up this, it shows it is connected. That's all about this IP phone configuration. And next, when coming to the back office, this is the back office which we have done, which contains 5 different floors. Here, back office is connected to the data center directly. The back office, it's a portion of university which is made up of some administration and also the support panel. As I said, the support panel, it includes like a student helpline also. They are important because they are the backbone of the university, and they ensure that all the university data and the information is being secured and also maintained. Here, back office has 5 different floors, as I said, where 2 are the student helpline. And if I sum this, see, this is the student helpline which we have created. This is the dark room, and this is the examination center, and again the student helpline. And this is the examination center, which may be used as a valuation center also. And that's all about the back office which we have created. And this is the total project which we have done completely in our internship. The main difficulties what we have faced here is was that when we created the ISP with EHRP, the two with different AS number, we were not able to communicate with the routers of different AS number. So again, we did the EHRP redistribution method and also the BGP redistribution for the routers, and also which are being connected to the branch like Bangalore, Mangalore. Here we have done BGP configuration. Between this, we have done the EHRP redistribution for the communication between the two different AS number. And we had faced another difficulty while creating IP phones, where we were not able to call. So again, we recreated and again we resolved it, and we changed the configurations from using those option IP and all to dial pair, where dial pair, in the sense they are used to identify the call source and destination endpoint, so it will be easy. It was the easy method for us. And the future work which we will implement in this project was, we thought of using the encryption technique for the passwords which we were created. And since it's a university, as we have examination and the validation centers, we have planned of implementing some of the IoT concepts and also the sensors, etc. In order to maintain, because to maintain some of the documents and the data safely here, uh, to completely and finally to share the experience. It's very proud to be an internee at Naveen Gurukula, and to be a student of Naveen sir and also Krishan sir, who taught us the every concept and also the agile process of management, agile model and the waterfall model and different types, which are very important for our next for our future. And also the practical experience and the assignments and the including the project which was given here was really awesome. It has really given the industry level of experience to us. They have also taught us some of the real life scenarios, and also taught to overcome that. And thank you for this opportunity to be the part of our Naveen Gurukula, and to be a student, a proud student of Naveen sir and Kishore sir. Thank you.